Hello. Simon says grab a wrench. First we want to check the brake reservoir, make sure we don't have too much fluid in there, because when we open up this caliper, a lot of fluid will go back into that reservoir. First thing we want to do is take the caliper off. Then we'll take the pads out. Then we're going to take the brake pad housing off so we can get the rotor off. Those are 17mm socket. We'll take those off. Now this is the preferred method. Hopefully there's screw holes to put these screws in to pop this rotor off. Life's easy with the screws. Now the other way is there's no screw holes, so we're going to fight this. I put ice on the axle to try and cool down that thing. I hit it with a hammer. Now I already broke this loose, but I'm demonstrating what you need to do. You can bang on the rotor if we're going to replace it. Rotate it again and hit it again. Eventually it'll pop loose. You can also use a little bit of penetrating oil on the hub in the center. Now we need to clean for sure the brake surface, the braking surface where the pads hit the rotor. Otherwise we're going to have a lot of trouble later. They're usually coated with some sort of coating or oil or something just to keep the rotor from rusting during shipping. I just take a lug nut and hold it on there. Makes it simpler to put the housings back on and the caliper back on. There's the two bolts. 17mm socket will run those on. About 79 foot-pounds on those. Now I can put the brake pads on. Now we can open up the caliper. Now you can use a C-clamp on this, whatever you use. Just make sure you keep it in the center of the cup of the caliper. If you get shifted to one side, you have a chance of wedging that cup into the side of the caliper. Now this little boot came out on us. This is a good example. So I'm going to have to work it back in. Now this screwdriver I'm using is real worn out, so it's real blunt. There's no sharp edges. Just have to work it back in. Sometimes you have to pull the boot away to get the air out of there. Just keep working at it. And there it is, all flush below the surface. Be real gentle with that boot too. You can tear it easily. Next we're going to put just a little bit of brake grease on the back of the shim side of the pad. That might even be a little too much. We're just going to make sure we don't set up any vibrations and create any leaks, and don't get grease on the pad side. That'll cause a lot of problems later. Now I'm always taking these pins out however they feel. Clean them up and put a good amount of new lubricant on them. That's what allows the caliper to move back and forth. So it's important to have those clean and lubed up. I just use a brake caliper grease. Now we're ready to put the caliper on. Those should be real loose at this point. And torque those down to about 25 foot-pounds. And now I'm going to go and pump the brakes up. Do it slowly. You can see the caliper moving just a little bit. Now we can take our lug nut off and check our brake fluid level and do the other side. And that's it.